This buried dirty secret of Meghan's is dug up. Big crisis when Marcus is the key.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the King YouTube channel.
I was not surprised to hear this information, but honestly, folks, I never really expected the evidence to show up when I googled the name Nikki Bursick. So apparently, Rachel Zane, who Meghan Markle played on that show Suits, all of a sudden her curves disappeared when Meghan Markle landed a British prince. Why is that? Well, before he ever met Miss Sharkle, supposedly he was asked who his favorite TV actress was, and his response was Rachel Zane. Well, painted up and remodeled onto her body double, this statement might be one of the few times such a nice comment about Meghan actually was true. I really suspect Meghan heard about this comment, and that caused her to want to meet and greet him. But I'm sure when he met her, he had to have been at least a little bit disappointed. But I guess what she lacks in body shape, she more than makes up for in being a cunning witch. We know all about her and her bag of tricks. There's a photo out there of Meghan in a black jacket and some satin tights, and you can tell there is no way those thighs belong to her. I mean, when I first saw the photo, I thought maybe she was wearing some of that body shaping underwear, Spanx or whatever. But the truth is, they are not her legs at all. Instead, they belong to her body double, Nikki Bursick. And when the photo of Meghan wearing the dark bikini came out when they first started dating, somebody said that she had photoshopped her head onto another photo of Harry and Chelsea Davy when they were holding hands and walking into the ocean. Well, I wonder what on earth told Harry it was a good idea to keep on dating her after discovering that he had been tricked. Did she slip him a Mickey or something? I suspect they met at Soho House, and I'm sure her pimp/best friend Marcus Anderson was close by to hook them up with a private room, furnished with a hidden camera, of course. And there is an explanation as to why there wasn't any protection for Harry when he needed it the most. After the little stunt he pulled in Las Vegas, Harry's bodyguard explained that they did not interfere, because they were there to protect him from danger. They were not there to control his behavior. They were not his babysitters. And this is why we should also see him as a younger version of himself, falling out of bars, completely drunk off his face, fighting with photographers. But I still have so many questions about this whole situation. So I think Marcus Anderson is just a cog in a greater machine. He went from absolutely nothing to a boss at Soho House all of a sudden. Well, how did he even land a work visa? How did he get that job in London? Could it have something to do with Andrew? I think you've heard those rumors, right? And how did Meghan Markle, this unknown mattress actress on a mostly unknown cable TV series, rate the additional expense of a body double? How does that make any sense whatsoever? Why didn't they just hire Nikki instead if she had the better body? Because last I checked, that role required a pretty good body. That's basically what the role was all about. Now, there have been many rumors that Doria knew Marcus Anderson before he and Meghan were friends, and Marcus also got to know Prince Andrew before he met Meghan. So some people are saying that Marcus is the son of Andrew, and that you can even see him in the background of many royal get-togethers. Now, Harry may have been drugged, but I suspect that he was in on this plan from the very start. So if it's true that Andrew is Marcus's father, then that would mean that Marcus is Eugenie's half-brother. He did say that he had hired Sharkle to attend the opening of Soho House in Istanbul, Turkey, and then Eddie Redmayne too, who was with William at Eton, and then he kept her around to help with the hostesses supposedly at Soho House in Toronto. Harry was with Charles in Istanbul at that same time. And, interestingly enough, Marcus is also the godfather to Eddie's kids. They had already registered the Archwell project before they even got married, and that wedding was also a part of their Netflix deal. The plan the entire time was to have a prince in their court. They were going to make so much money in America. They were going to become a power couple. Obviously, their plans didn't pan out very well. And I think Charles is just assuming that marriage is going to self-destruct all by itself, that Meghan is going to get bored with Harry and she's going to move on to somebody else. Now, the lifestyle of a royal was boring to Meghan. She didn't like it. Now, Harry has a history of choosing some pretty weird people to be friends with. He has a history of making some questionable choices at best. Nobody ever thought Harry necessarily had a good head on his shoulders, so none of this is all that surprising. But maybe Harry needs a stronger reaction from the monarchy in order for him to realize that he's crossed a line. He cannot keep getting away with this ridiculous behavior. He has some commitment problems. Harry cannot just stick with anything. He just jumps from one thing to the next. And he is gonna waste his life because of this pattern. But also, in some ways, people are blaming Camilla's influence over Charles because apparently she is the one who always says, less said, the sooner mended. Well, I think things are a little different in this situation. Maybe all that is necessary to deal with the gruesome twosome is for Charles to come out of his comfort zone and do something real. By taking Frogmore away from them, well, Harry doesn't have any permanent address in the UK anymore, and that is necessary for being a Counselor of State. That is a step that Charles, I know, had to take. He also added Anne and Edward, and I think Beatrice to the above position. So they have been refused a permanent place in any Crown building or even privately owned ones by members of the family. It's high time for Parliament to remove Harry from that list because of where he lives. And it's also the responsibility of Parliament to remove the titles or to give King Charles the right to do so. There is a bill apparently on the table, but it's a private member's bill. If citizens in the UK started a petition online through Parliament's site and really urged people to sign it, maybe something would happen. I would hope they would share it with everybody, and then, once it hits a certain number of signatures, Parliament has to talk about it. But there is a form and format to do exactly that. 10,000 citizens of the UK are necessary to sign a created petition to have it advanced to a reading in Parliament. I'm not a Brit, so I can't get it started, but some of you are. Okay, so now I want to talk about your views a little bit in the recent video titled Queen Camilla's Divorce Ultimatum for Charles. It's Harry and Meghan or me. As always, you shared so many interesting opinions, so let's talk about a few of them now. Okay, first comment comes to us from Christine. Christine says, actually, I don't really blame her even though it's emotional blackmail. Stay strong, Camilla. Thank you for this comment. That is something I noticed a lot. I was a little bit surprised, actually. I thought many of you were going to say, no, Camilla shouldn't divorce Charles. She shouldn't threaten that. That's wrong. But so many of you are siding with Camilla, and I understand why. I mean, after what Harry said about her in his book, I can understand why Camilla wants Charles to do something. Okay, so now let's hear from some more people. We got Kathy. Go Camilla, I agree with her. They're lucky she doesn't sue for defamation. Lucky indeed. She would certainly have a case. And then Val Potter, I can't say I would blame her. However, Charles and Camilla have a strong marriage, and I'm sure they will survive all the BS. I agree with you. I mean, I think this could just be a threat that Camilla feels like she has to make, but I don't know that she's necessarily going to go through with it. I do think they have excellent communication between the two of them, so I'm sure they can talk this out. All right, everybody, that's all for now. We're going to stop here, and the discussion is going to be in the next videos. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and if you like my work, please press the like button and share it with all your friends and families.
Please don't forget to subscribe to our The King YouTube channel to get more updates in the future. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a lovely evening, and we'll be back to see you tomorrow. Bye. I love you all.